Robinson and Philip Schofield.
This is what you've worked so hard to find out. Your score in the National IQ Test. Answers coming up shortly.
We'll also hear from the highest scorer on the internet tonight. We've already had a fantastic response. Our studio groups are eagerly awaiting their scores, not least those that took part in our special experiments. We split our models into two groups. Half of them had a diet consisting mostly of caffeine. Hands up who had the caffeine, and there they are. Look, they're beginning to shake now. And the other half who were kept mainly on water. Your hands up as well. Okay, very good. Has that affected their IQ? We'll see. And also, which of our triplets doing the Mozart experiment scored the highest? Abby listened to Mozart for 10 minutes before doing the test, whereas Oliver listened to punk and James listened to nothing. Keep watching to find out if their musical diet has had any effect.
Now, as you know, IQ is often used today to find out if you're any good for a job, or even if you're likely to live to an old age, so says Cooperman Superman. So let's just see how tests like this one can help you get on in life or not.
Thank you. God blimey.
See, I didn't know that was a rehearsal.
Okay, so just remember, Philip will be announcing the person with the highest IQ. When Philip says that, he'll say what section they're in.
The Nation Part 2, the biggest interactive IQ test on British television. And time to find out just what you scored and how that compares with everyone in the studio and across the country. Now, please welcome back your hosts, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
your score in the National IQ Test. Answers coming up shortly.
Now, we'll also hear from the highest scorer on the internet tonight. We've already had a massive response. Our studio groups are eagerly awaiting their scores, not least those who took part in our special experiments. We split our models into two groups. Half of them had a diet consisting mostly of caffeine. Hands up those who had just the coffee. Yeah, their hands are beginning to shake a bit now. And the other half, of course, were kept mainly on water. So hands up to you. Yeah, they're actually holding their hands up because they want to go to the loo now, I think. Has that affected their IQ? And which of our triplets doing the Mozart experiment scored the highest? Abby listened to Mozart for 10 minutes before the programme came on air earlier on this evening, before doing the test, whereas Oliver listened to punk and James listened to nothing. Keep watching to find out if their musical diet has had any effect.
Now, as you know, IQ is often used today as a way of finding out if you're right for a job or even if you're likely to live to a grand old age. So says Superman. Cooperman, let's just see how tests like the one tonight can help you get on in life or not.
Rodney, you know, he tried to join the police force once, yeah. It was after he failed the intelligence test to become a Unigate milkman.
I could find a way to show him that, you know, beneath this quite simple exterior lies the razor-sharp intellect of an Andrew Einstein.
Albert
Einstein.
Don't tell me. New earrings.
No.
New jumper.
You gave me this jumper. Come on.
New teeth. They look great. You never know.
You're supposed to have super observational powers.
Only when there's danger nearby.
Danger is closer than you think. Now look again.
Ah, you've had your nails done.
You're at a party. You've been introduced to someone 3 times. Now you have to introduce them to someone else. You go, Jan, this is... You're going, come on, memory, give me the name, give me the name. Your memory's going, no, I'm not giving you the name. You're going, come on, memory, I know you know it. Yes, I do know it, but I'm not going to tell you. You can remember every word to the lyrics of Bohemian Rhapsody, but not this boy's name.
John, have you ever had an experience when you've forgotten someone's name like that?
It used to happen quite a bit on Question of Sport. I mean, you know, I'd read the papers, 5 or 6 back pages of the papers every week, memorise names, memorise faces, then you'd go on the show, completely forget. But Steve Redgrave was on there. He took 10 minutes one time to answer the question, and it was actually a fella in a boat who'd rowed with him about 3 weeks before. Could he remember his name? So it happens to the best of them. 10 minutes he was before he could remember his name.
That's very good. Now, who are you supporting tonight?
Well, I can't support this lot here, by the way.
Are you jealous?
Multiple choice, they can't even pick a lane. I was going to support the redheads, but of course... I'm sorry, I have to work with Steve Davis, so that one's out. So I'm going to go with the utmost respect. I'm with the doctors tonight.
Natalie, how about you?
Well, I was going to go with the redheads because if they're anything like you, Anne, you know, they're bound to.
Ewan?
I should go redheads. I love their attitude, but I've got to go models.
I'm going with the redheads because my mum is a redhead and she's
your
really
mum's a redhead. Very good. Simon?
I was going to go for the gardeners because my granddad's a keen gardener, but I'm going to go for the models because the saying goes, I'm not just a pretty face, I want to see if they can prove it.
Nina?
Well, no one's gone for the butt triplets, so...
OK, bow tie, who are you going for?
Who do you think?
I think the most beautiful.
Yes, you're right. It's the models for me.
Very predictable. Jenny, who are you supporting? I'm going for the gardeners. Chelsea. Why does no one like them? I think they're wonderful. Oh, dear.
These guys are absolutely gutted that Jenny didn't pick them. I can't believe it.
It's last chance, Phil.
Now, those who did the test online or interactively will know their scores, but those using pen and paper won't, and nor do the groups here in the studio. So let's see now how they are feeling. We know that they think they're king of the roads, but are they the IQ champions tonight? White Van Dam! Now, we know that Anne is brilliant, but can all these others blessed with the same hair colour reach the same dizzying heights? Our redheads! They may know lots of Latin names for plants, but can they themselves come up primus tonight? It's the gardeners! We know they can find out what's wrong with us, but can they work out how to get the top scores tonight? The doctors! They may take comfort from safety in numbers, but just how brainy are they? There are triplets! And they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but will their brains match their beauty? Our models! So, Colin, can you explain the scoring system tonight for us?
Yes, it's dead simple. If you've done the test at home, basically you just give yourselves 1 point for every correct answer and 0 points for an incorrect answer. Okay. And then later on we'll convert those to an IQ. Don't worry about that.
Explain all that a little bit later.
We'll do that later.
OK, Susan, how important do you think IQ tests are?
I think it depends what they're important for. I think for an individual, for stimulating your brain, they're very important. And I think in the future, they might be increasingly important for the kind of things we do, because increasingly we're doing this kind of thing all the time, interacting with computers rather than just rote memory. And increasingly, education is going to shift away from learning off lots of tables and facts and actually Googling and using your brain in other ways. So it might be, actually, that these kind of skills and abilities are more to the fore than they are now.
What about if we have a diet purely of sort of oily fish and fruit and vegetables? Does that help our brains?
No, a balanced diet is best, but for some conditions where there's a deficiency, then obviously you need to supplement it. So, for example, oily fish, it's believed that dyslexia can often be helped by a lot of fish oils. So we have to distinguish between a deficiency that you then supplement in that way, or a normal healthy diet, and it's not that by eating a shed load of fish you're suddenly going to become Einstein.
So your brain can repair itself over time?
The brain is wonderfully plastic, plastic in the sense that it changes all the time. We know that when people have strokes, for example, you often get a partial recovery, sometimes a complete recovery of function. And that's what's so marvellous about your brain, because it never gives up. It constantly is changing, and it can actually recover.
So you're a different person today than you were a week ago?
This has always fascinated me, that you're the different person you were from a year ago, or a minute ago, or a second ago. It's like a kaleidoscope. It's constantly shifting and changing every moment you're alive, because you're in constant interaction with your environment. Everything that's out there will change your brain, and you will evaluate what's out there. So it's a kind of two-way street.
Does it even work for the white van men?
The white van men especially. And my money goes on them, because what people might not... What they do is a bit like with taxi drivers, yes? You have to remember routes. No, it's important, because it's been shown with scans of taxi drivers, a bit of their brain is bigger than other people.
That's the bit where they can remember who was in the back of the cab.
And it's not that having a big bit of that brain predisposes you to being a driver. It's because the more they've been driving, the bigger that bit is. So you never know.
Good.
Actually, I think it's interesting that medical students do nothing but drink beer. Does that improve your brain? Right, time to give you the answers for the National IQ Test 2004. We began with some questions to test your logic. OK, we asked you to look at these shapes and complete the sequence. Question 1. The answer is C. Vertical balls are progressively... are progressively replaced by horizontal crosses. OK? Question 2. The house that completes this is the answer C. That's because the line rotates 45 degrees clockwise as the house gets wider and the colour roof alternates. And the roof colour alternates, sorry. Question 3. The answer is A, because if you take the yellow ball, you'll notice that it moves one place each time, from the top of the pile to the middle and the bottom, and then back to the top, and the top and bottom take turns to be in front. That's easy, isn't it? Question 4. The answer to this sequence is D, because the 3 cubes rotate through 90 degrees each time, and on each move they switch colours, so you see the 2 black cubes in the first block become 2 blue cubes, return to black, so that they must go back to blue as the blocks rotate. Keeping up, are we, White Van? They'd say yes anyway. Question 5. The answer is C. The stick with the balls on rotates through 180 degrees each time, and the balls change sides one by one. The purple ball goes first, then the blue, and finally the green will flip to the other side, making the answer C. So that, everybody, is the first 5 done. Are we keeping up, models? Yes! Not too bad, triplets? Good. On to some picture maths questions. These were pairs you had to memorise and then work out the sums. Question 6. What was the total if you add the elephant to the telephone? Well, the elephant equals 7, the telephone 1, the 2 add up to 8, so the answer is A. Question 7. The telephone equals 1, the present box 8, those multiplied together make 8, so the answer is A. Then we asked you to memorise some new pairs and again work out the sums. Question 8, the teapot minus the whistle. The answer is A, 1. The teapot equals 14, the whistle 13, 14. Take away 13, leaves 1. Question 9, add the lion to the frog. Well, the lion equals 10, the frog equals 2. Add those together, that makes 12, so the answer is C. Then we asked you to memorise 3 lots of pairs. It got harder each time, and work out another lot of sums. And here are the answers. Question 10, you had to subtract the paperclip from the letterbox. The letterbox equals 20 and the paperclip equals 6. Take 1 away from the other and that leaves 14, so the answer is B. Question 11. The paperclip, which is worth 6, added to the plant, which is worth 4, makes the answer 10, so it has to be D. Enough maths for the time being, though the doctors are looking reasonably pleased with themselves. The gardener's a little dejected, perhaps. On to some storytelling. I like these, not least because they feature our resident expert and friend, Superman, Cooperman. Question 12. We saw 4 scenes of a thief robbing a jeweller's. The correct sequence is 2, 4, 1, 3. That's C. Here's exactly how it happens. Don't miss Colin in his first starring role. The burglar cases the jewellers in scene 2. He breaks the window, scene 4. Runs off with his swag, scene 1. He's arrested and placed in jail, scene 3. And who should be on hand but Constable Cooperman? Colin, how did you like yourself in cartoon form?
Well, I think I'm thinking about a career change, Anne.
Yes, much more money in the movies. Question 13. The answer here, D, 3, 4, 2, 1, and here's how it works. Colin prepares to bake a cake, sequence 3. He mixes his ingredients, sequence 4. The cake is finished, sequence 2. The fully iced cake has had a slice removed. We won't ask by whom. 1. Question 14. Now, Colin's the referee here. The sequence starts with scene 2. The score is at 0-0, and the handball is in the penalty area. Then scene 4 with Colin looking on. The penalty is taken. Scene 1 follows as the ball hits the back of the net. Finally, we see the new score, 1-0 to the home team. Scene 3. So the answer is 2, 4, 1, 3. That's C. Question 15. Exhausted by all this exercise, Colin is now at the seaside. Scene 1. Colin is sunbathing alone at the beach. This must be the English seaside, not that hot. No need for Colin to take his clothes off. A little girl joins Colin, builds a sandcastle. That's number 3. She leaves and the tide starts to come in. Scene 2. And in scene 4, surprise, surprise, Colin gets a rude awakening. So the answer is 1, 3, 2, then 4, A. Question 16 has Colin in home repair mode. The story goes like this. His house has a tree in the garden, scene 4. But, as you see from scene 1, the tree has fallen on the roof, so Colin goes to work to fix the roof, scene 3. And in the final scene, scene 2, the house is repaired, but the tree has gone. So the answer is 4, 1, 3, and then 2. That's D. And in our final story, question 17, Colin goes fishing. In scene 2, he gets to the riverbank with all his kit. Perhaps he's not one of the world's leading fishermen. So in scene 4, he gets upset because all he's caught is a boot. He cheers up when, after a long wait, he catches a fish, scene 1. And in the last scene, 3, he goes off home with his fish, leaving the boot behind. No thought to littering the riverbank. So the answer is 2, 4, 1, 3. The answer B. And that, everybody, is the end of our first section, I think. Well, I was actually going to ask for a round of applause for our very own Brad Pitt here, but if you want to clap yourselves, that's absolutely fine. If we go to the triplets for a minute, because I know we do have some remarkable trios with us. For example, 3 72-year-olds, that's David, Jill and Helena, who were actually parted at birth. Where are you there? And the remarkable thing is that you were not reunited until 3 years ago.
We didn't get together.
Lovely to see you here. Thank you so much. Then we have the Sparks brothers, who are 16. Come on. Now, you're all rugby forwards. Which is Charlie? Well, I'd like you to know you're in the lead of all the people in the studio at the moment. Isn't another remarkable trio. We have here tonight Britain's first test tube triplets. That's Khalil, Khaled and Nora Meyer. They're 20. Please stand up. Thank you very much for being here. That's absolutely lovely. Philip.
So here we go. Let's have a look and see what the damage has been done on our leaderboard after the first section of questions. So, down at the bottom we have our celebrities. Always popular. Fantastic. I'm not sure that's ever happened before. Above them we have our models on 55% answered correctly. Then we have the gardeners at 56%. Above them are the white band men, sharing that place with our triplets at 59%. Then we have the doctors at 66%, which means that in the lead we have the redheads, 68%. Redheads. This is fantastic. Was there any moment where you doubted you would be in the lead?
No, always confident, always confident.
You had no doubt whatsoever. Can you maintain this lead? There's a white van driver over here, Simon Squire. Where's Simon? Hiya, Simon. You are not really a typical sort of white van driver.
Well, I didn't think I was, but after tonight, I've got thousands of compatriots here, so I feel like a white man.
What are your qualifications? What are your qualifications?
Well, I am an accountant, and I'm currently studying for a maths degree.
Oh,
so,
really? At the end of the first section, you got 4 out of 6. So well done to you.
That's not so bad.
That's very good. And also down here we've got Tino, who's our punk drummer. Mate, you're in the top 10. I just wondered though, just a final thing. Any of you have got any speakers I could buy out the back of the van?
See me after.
Annie.
Thanks. Nina, how do you relax before you go in front of the camera?
How do I relax? I don't. I end up taking a lot of sugar backstage and really sugar, yeah, just like lots of glucose and lots of Coca-Cola and stuff like that. But I can't actually relax. By the way, I blame us being at the bottom of the chart all on Tracy Ann, every single thing, because she...
Early days, it might all change. Simon, you have to perform live. Have you had any bad moments?
Before that, she's just given me Lucozade sweets, so she does thrive on sugar. But what was the question?
I was wondering whether you... Come on.
I think that was one of them.
Pay attention, Simon, now.
OK.
Is your memory good? You're on live television. As you are now, you should be very practiced.
Right, yeah, kind of good. I kind of, I have introduced... on top of the Pop Saturday, which I did before, you're introducing bands all the time, bang, bang, bang. And there have been moments where you're literally coming up on top of the Pop Saturday, blah, 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 blah. It is, and you go, oh, who on earth is it? And literally that second, then you remember the name. So I haven't yet forgotten anyone, but I have been literally a Lucozade sweet that close.
Ewan, it's Athens in 3 months' time. When will you start to get nervous? Just before a race? Or...
Well, I've got to get qualified first. But yeah, before a race, you get a bit nervous, but you've done all the hard work. You've trained 11 months of the year. You've just got to stick to your game plan and believe in your ability and the hard work you've done.
And will your hair be the same colour by Athens?
Probably the same. Do you like it?
No redhead. What a shame. OK. Now... Section 2 was questions to test your powers of observation. Let's see, for example, whether you were paying attention at the start of tonight's programme. We showed you some comedy clips, and the next questions found out how much you took in. Question 18. What was the IQ of the BBC programme planners?
The BBC programme planner's surprisingly high total here can be explained away as being within the ordinary limits of statistical error. One particularly dim programme planner can cock the whole thing up.
The answer A, yes. Question 19. 2 groups showed higher IQs than the BBC programme planners. I'm surprised it was only 2. One was the Bushmen. What was the other? Let's find out.
Standard IQ tests gave the following results. The Penguins scored badly when compared with primitive human subgroups like the Bushmen of the Kalahari.
The answer C, the Penguins had a higher IQ than the programme planners. Of course they did. Question 20. Mel Smith said that his IQ was initially what?
My IQ is huge. I went in with an IQ of 150. You're kidding.
The answer B. Question 21. What was behind Mel Smith and Griff Rhys-Jones? Let's take a look. Yes, the answer is C, total blackness. Question 22. To what did Mel Smith's IQ fall? Let's hear it from him.
After 2 meetings, it was up to 175.
My God.
Yeah. Then I watched a couple of television programmes with Noel Edmonds in and it went back down to 96.
Yeah. The answer is C. In fact, as we found, some people claim relaxation actually makes your IQ go up, not down. Is that correct, Superman Cooperman? Were you convinced by any of the tips about sugar and Coca-Cola that our celebs were giving there?
Well, put it another way, would you listen to any tips from a group that's coming bottom at the moment?
one go at the movies and he's got completely above himself. Next, we showed you a series of photos. In each of the series, something was missing. Question 23, we showed you 4 animals. The answer is D, the elephant's trunk is missing. It's getting harder, though. Question 24, something is missing either from the shower, the basin, the loo, or the bath. The answer is A, the shower doesn't have its shower head. Question 25, we showed you a microwave, a vacuum cleaner, a washing machine, and an ironing board. One of them had something missing. The answer is D, the ironing board had a leg missing. Question 26, we showed you a fax, a lamp, a laptop, and a chair, which had something missing here. The answer is A. The fax had no handset. And in the last part of this section, we showed you some landmarks with something amiss. So, question 27, that's the sign on the hills above Hollywood. What's wrong? Yes, there are 2 L's in Hollywood, so the answer is B. Question 28, we showed you a picture of Trafalgar Square, but no Nelson on his column, so the answer is A. Question 29, the Taj Mahal in India, very famous, but it does look odd here. Yes, the answer is B, it's without its dome. Question 30, another famous landmark, the Houses of Parliament. Something's not there, it is the clock face. It's been taken off Big Ben, so the answer is D. Oh, the white van men got that one. Question 31. One of the most famous statues in the world, Michelangelo's David, looks a bit different. In this case, something's been added. A fig leaf to protect his modesty. So the answer is C. And that is the end of the second section. Philip.
Well done, everyone. Do you know, the one thing that surprised me there as I sat here and watched our various groups was the fact that the doctors didn't realise there was a leg missing on the ironing board. What sort of doctors are you? No notice there's a leg missing. Right, OK, let's have a look at our leaderboard now. So, who's down the... Oh, the models. It's the models down the bottom at the moment. Listen, there's plenty of time. Things can change. Above them, the gardeners are 60%. Above them, we have the triplets at 63%. And then the celebrities moving up very nicely now, 65%. And the white band men sharing that place with the celebs, which means that above them we have the doctors on 67%. And the redheads, 69%. It seems that gardening actually can be a blooming second career for some people, because Annie, whereabouts is Annie? Hi, Annie. What were you before?
I was a nurse.
Why did you change from a nurse to...
I just wanted to get out of the operating theatre, which is where I was working.
You're finding it more relaxed?
Oh, much more relaxed.
Yeah. Okay. And we've also got Colin down here. Colin, what did you used to do?
I used to be in advertising.
What made you change?
Just a more relaxed, calm career. Yes.
And Rowena, lip friend. What did you used to be?
I used to be a chartered surveyor.
And why did you change?
Because it was too stressful.
Would you like to know how you're doing this evening?
And not unless I'm doing very, very well.
Well, I'll tell you then in that case. 22 out of 31.
Oh,
well done to you.
Thank you.
OK, now, our Chelsea gardeners, Jeremy Salt there.
Yeah.
You're doing something very special at Chelsea, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Tell us about it.
Basically, it's a schools competition, and a school in London won the competition to actually have a garden built at Chelsea. Essentially 2 years at the school collectively came together with a design.
So we've got a picture of the... Oh, that's absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
Is that what it looks like at Chelsea at the moment?
Not far off that, actually. A couple of days ago, it was pretty close.
Oh, dear. We've got a lot of work to do in the next 48 hours, haven't we?
That's why I'm doing so badly. I've concentrated on the garden.
Well, we wish you luck, because the Queen will be looking at it. Susan, do we inherit our powers of observation? Is it to do with genes?
Genes don't really work like that. Of course, genes do play a part in how the brain works, but they're switched on and off all the time. They're influenced by the environment. They make hundreds of different proteins, all of which in turn can influence other genes. So this old idea of nature versus nurture doesn't really hold anymore. And what we now understand is that the two things really interact together. It's really hard to separate out environment from genes.
So are you saying you could have some of the great skills your mother or father had and some you'll be completely hopeless at that they're very good at?
You might have the predisposition to a certain skill that they had, but depending on the environment and what you did and how you lived your life, which is very different from theirs, generation apart, then you'll have different qualities coming out.
Colin, how much do you think family environment generally has to do with IQ?
Well, as Susan said, it does all depend on the genetic predispositions as well. But if family environment did determine your IQ, then think about it. All of the children in the same family would develop up with identical IQs. And I'm sure if we think about our own families, that's not usually the case. It seems more often that children with a sort of genetic predisposition to do well carve out a sort of unique environment for themselves. A bright child might join the library and do lots of exciting clubs
So
at school.
environment doesn't have to really sort of leg iron you to a particular way you are. You can just bring out your own.
Absolutely. As Susan said, it's the interaction between the two that's all important.
Thank you, Colin. On to section 3 and testing your powers of reasoning. We start with some verbal analogies. Question 32. Film is to camera as disc is to, well, is it sphere, video cassette, lens or computer? The answer is D, computer. Goes like this. The film is loaded into a camera as a disc is loaded into a computer. Question 33. Pip is to orange as word is to, is it reading, book, spoken or fruit? The answer is B, book. A pip is found in an orange as a word is found in a book. Question 34. Retriever is to dog as cox is to, is it boat, box, apple or grub? The answer is C, apple. A retriever is a breed of dog, just as a cox is a variety of apple. Question 35. Evidence is to guilty just as job interview is to, is it advertisement, job offer, application form or best clothes? The answer is B. Evidence can lead to a guilty verdict as a job interview can lead to a job offer, or so one hopes. Question 36. Polar bear is to Africa as turnip is to, is it flower bed, Asia, penguin or pumpkin? Interesting this, the answer is a flower bed. Yes, because a polar bear is not native to Africa and a turnip is not naturally found among your roses in the flower beds. Any of you growing turnips in flower beds? No. On to the second part of this section, and we showed you some shapes for you to sort out. Question 37, the answer is C. Just as the sun swaps from under the line to above the line and switches colour with the line, similarly, the arrow moves above the line and turns yellow. Question 38, the answer is C. Here the circle becomes smaller and darker in colour, so the arrow should become smaller and darker in colour. Question 39. The answer is D. In this sequence, the tubular shape changes colour to orange and rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise, so the same must happen to the heart. Question 40. Here in the first sequence, the left-hand side of the shape rotates through 180 degrees anti-clockwise and the right-hand side flips from left to right. If the second sequence copies that, the answer has to be A. Question 41. The top shape does a mirror flip and turns into a lighter shade of the same colour. The bottom shape becomes the same as the original colour of the top shape and they join together. So the answer, when repeated in the second sequence, has to be B. And a final lot of questions about missing links. Okay, question 42. Which of the answer options share a common link with these three words? The words are bounce, crystal and bat. Is the answer beetle, radiator, pencil or cannon? The answer is D, cannon. Bounce, crystal and bat are all associated with ball, as is cannonball. Question 43. Scotch, timer, fried are linked with, is the answer cracked, fierce, spotted or deep? The answer is A, cracked. Scotch, timer and fried are all associated with egg. Question 44. Flag, star, barge are all associated with, is it plastic, May, tree or happy? The answer is B, May. Flag, star and barge are all associated with pole, as in May, maypole. Question 45. Which is the word that shares a common link with stop, pepper and communist? Is the answer herring, safe, beer or school? Well, stop, pepper and communist are all associated with red, as in herring, red herring. Sorry, the answer is A. Question 46. Night, morn and berry share a link with, is it live, wet, coal or spear? Well, night, morn and berry are all associated with black, as is coal, coal black. So the answer is C. And that's the end of the third section. Great, I don't have to ask anyone to clap themselves here. They're all so relieved that we are well over halfway through the test. Celebs, are you holding up? Now, Natalie, have you surprised yourself?
I think I've done all right. It was the first few that threw me.
Have you ever taken Have you taken an IQ test before?
No.
No.
I've tried to play this game before, but it was too fast.
You were very good on the weakest link. Jenny, you're good at crosswords, yeah?
Well, my mother's extremely good, and I like to think that I might emulate her.
What sort of level of crossword are we talking here, Jenny?
The very, very easy one in a junior puzzle book.
John, you're a crossword man?
Yeah, love them. Times triple crossword every day.
Oh, just the cryptic one?
Sorry, when obviously you can't do it. Coffee time in the sun for you, boy.
Tracy Ann, you're also a writer. I've known Tracy Ann since she was in short white socks. Behave! Thank you. Right, does that mean you're good at words, good at crosswords?
Not the cryptic, the easy ones.
No, you can do...
Finding the words in the... You know those things where you've got to find the word in the word thing? That's the one. Very good.
Good at cross... What are you good at?
Not a lot, really, after tonight. Actually, I suspect that the celebs are going to kind of get powered on. I feel this, you know, I feel a bit of a kind of move going on. I really do.
Okay, can I
just listening, but, you know, around, you know, the guys, I think we're doing well. You know, we're coming up.
Well, Nina, Simon, Tracy Ann of the celebs, you're in the lead.
There we
Interesting.
are.
Oh, my recovered from the shock. Where are you, Philip?
Over here by the leaderboard. Let's see whether or not the celebs are indeed going to get powered on. And here we are. Here is our leaderboard. And the models... still at the bottom at 56% correct so far. Triplets, 58%. That's a bit of a slip. Above them we have our gardeners at 60%. Then we've got the white band men, 63%. Top three positions now. Celebrities at 65%, so not that powered on. Above them we have the redheads. Oh, look at this! Redheads and doctors equal on 68%. One update on one of our experiments this evening. You know the Mozart experiment we're doing, where we've got Abby listening to Mozart, and we've got her brother Oliver listening to punk, and James is listening to nothing at all. Abby is actually in the lead. Our Mozart listener is in the lead at the moment. Right, we were talking earlier on to our two red-headed sisters here, Tina and Sandy. Do you think that you've been sort of stereotyped because of the colour of your hair?
Oh, yeah. We've been called copper knob, spotted dick, all sorts.
And what about your hair? Do you have a fiery personality?
No, I don't. I'm very calm
So are you both the same? I mean,
no, I'm really, really weird when it comes to that.
You?
Oh yeah.
You said
just really extrovert.
You said earlier on, yeah, we talked about that because you said earlier on that you dropped out, you became a bit of a hippie, and you were much more studious. You concentrated much more. I wonder whether that has in fact altered your scores. I can tell you actually that Sandy, who is our hippie, actually with 35 out of 46, is ahead of Tina, who's the bright one, with 29 out of 46.
Thank you for that, Philip.
It could change. We've got, what about this Georgina? Georgina's, hello, Georgina. You reckon that redheads are dying out, don't you?
Well, it apparently is happening because we're a bit of a genetic freak, redheads.
God, you're a brave woman.
We have recessive genes, so when we marry out, when we don't marry other redheaded people, our partner would... Their genes would be dominant, so slowly the genes are dying out.
Well, let's cut to the quick here, then. Do you fancy redheaded blokes? Have you ever had a redheaded boyfriend?
Never, no, and I wouldn't.
Why? Why?
Oh, God, because I don't...
That's outrageous.
I think it works both ways. I think redheaded guys wouldn't go for...
Brother-sister thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother-sister thing.
It's not right.
Just too similar.
It's not right, ever.
Okay, guys, well done. Very good. Annie.
My fingers are crossed for the redheads. On to section 4 and some shapes for you to puzzle out. Question 47. Which two of the shapes can be fitted together to make the larger shape? The answer is C, 2 and 4. Shape 2 rotates 90 degrees clockwise. Shape 4 rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and they join together. Question 48. Which of these two shapes can be fitted together to make the larger shape? The answer is B, 1 and 2. Shape 1 rotates 45 degrees clockwise, and shape 2 rotates 45 degrees anti-clockwise, and they join together. Question 49. Which of these two shapes can be fitted together to make the larger shape? The answer D, 1 and 3. They both rotate 90 degrees anti-clockwise and join together. Question 50. The answer A, 1 and 4. They both rotate through 180 degrees and join together. And the last of these shape questions, number 51. Which of these two shapes can be fitted together to make the larger shape? The answer is A, 1 and 2. They both rotate through 180 degrees and join together. Now, those pictures and how they relate to each other. Question 52. England is to the rose as Scotland is. Was it the leek, the potato, the thistle, or the haggis? Well, England's national flower is the rose. Scotland's is the thistle, so the answer C. Question 53. Glass is to bottle as shopping trolley is to. Was it supermarket, groceries, glass, or barrel? You fill a glass with the contents of a bottle, and a shopping trolley is filled with the contents of a supermarket. So the answer A. Question 54. Garage is to car as hospital is to. Was it nurse, doctor, ambulance, or patient? Well, if a garage is where a car is mended, then a hospital is where a patient is treated, so the answer was D. Question 55. Carriage is to train as sausages to a string of sausages, or the fridge, or bacon, or an apple. Well, a carriage is part of a train, just as a single sausage is part of a string of sausages. So the answer is A. Question 56. Stressed is to desserts, as stop is to, was it go, walk, pots, or halt? Stressed is dessert spelt backwards, just as stop is pots spelt backwards. So the right answer, C. OK, that's the end of the fourth section.
Well, let's have a look now at what damage has been done now on the leaderboard after the end of that section of questions. Have the models changed? No, they haven't. In fact, they've gone down a couple of percent. The models are at 54%. We've our triplets at 55%. We have our gardeners at 58%. The white man men and the celebs tied at 61%. Who would ever have thought the celebs and the white van men would go hand in hand, eh? And above them, we have our redheads at 66%. And the doctors are at 67%. The doctors take the lead. Joe Mangiali, you actually have never failed an exam.
I don't think it's going to last much longer, somehow.
So, how many have you taken? I mean, to become... What do you do? What sort of doctor are you?
Well, I'm a medical student, actually.
So
I'm not
you're
a doctor
student,
yet,
so,
just
okay.
an imposter, yeah.
OK. And what do you hope to do?
Hopefully, I don't know, become a surgeon one day. Who knows?
OK. And the exams that you've taken, I mean, what sort of qualifications have you actually got?
Well, first you do GCSEs, and then AS levels, A levels, and then you apply to medical school.
OK. Would you want to know your score tonight?
Do I have a choice?
Would you be pleased with that? If I said, should I do that, yeah? Well, look, they're all looking at it. Is that all right?
It's all right, I think that's...
Do you want to read it out?
Back in Bristol, yeah.
Yeah, OK. You got 38 out of 56, so that's not bad. Not bad. Just going to have a word with our triplets over here. We've Janice, we've Liz, and we've Mary, who we met earlier on. Right, I'm still getting your results in my ear, actually. So, what are the results? Janice, 27. Liz, 23. And Mary, 22. So how does that stack up with the way you thought of yourselves?
I thought we would have, well, been a couple of points sort of either way, but I didn't think I would be out in front.
And is she normally the brighter one?
Not really, I don't think.
Who's normally seen as the brightest out of the three?
I think we're all the same, actually. But who knows?
Was there any time during the course of this evening where you've looked over and seen what each other has been doing?
Once.
No? Once or twice. Just once?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes, I did.
I can't believe you owned up to that. I thought you were going to say no.
Yes.
Just once you looked over.
Yeah.
Who cheated? Did you?
Well, she put the same as me anyway, so...
So that's a fantastic admission. Listen, well done to all three of you, and you're enjoying it?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, good. Let's have a word with our models. Ladies, what's happening? Do you expect to be this far down the bottom?
Not really, no.
Do you think the rest of them are dragging you down?
No, of course not.
No, you're just all in it together.
Yeah, we are.
Mariana Hota, we talked to you earlier on about stereotypes.
Yes.
And you said that you were very unhappy with the way that models were treated. What sort of model are you?
I'm a plus-size model with my 4 girls here.
Lots of work?
Yeah, plenty.
And does intelligence come into it?
Well, I think you have to remember that we are all self-employed professionals, and a lot of the time when we go to a job, there's a multi-million-pound advertising campaign that's resting on us being able to perform and do our job correctly. So I think we'd be a liability if we were properly stupid. But it's a different skill. It's a different skill to, you know, twiddling around with little bobbles of...
And being a white van man.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to know your score?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, 36 out of 56. That's
Okay,
not bad.
that's right.
That's good.
That's
That's good, yeah. That's good. That's good. She's happy with that. Annie?
Thank you. Actually, obviously the thing to be is a red-headed doctor at the moment. Now, Colin, are we more or less intelligent than previous generations?
Right. A sociologist called Jim Flynn has been studying this and finds that scores on these sort of IQ tests have been going up steadily for at least the last century. And so, if he's right, and this indicates that intelligence has really been going up, by the standards of 100 years ago, an average person today would have been in the top 2 or 3% 100 years ago. But the big question is, are we really getting smarter, or are we just getting more practice at doing these tests? And that's still up in the air.
OK. Susan, what fascinates you about the brain?
Well, how long have you got? I think, basically, it's all other parts of your body could increasingly easily be transplanted. A heart, for example. But who'd want a brain transplant? Because your brain is you. The brain is the very essence of you.
That's why the redheads are so brilliant. OK, let's see how you did with these distorted faces. Some of them a bit trickier than they seemed at first. Question 57. Who is this? Was it Tim Henman, Hugh Grant, Will Young, or Tobey Maguire? The answer B, Hugh Grant. Very handsome. Did we get that right, models? Wasn't too difficult. Question 58. Who's this? Was it Michael Owen, David Beckham, Johnny Wilkinson, or Jenson Button? The answer is C, Johnny Wilkinson. Who likes him? Do we like... White van drivers, do we like Johnny Wilkinson? Oh, good. That's good. Question 59. Who is this? Martine McCutcheon, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Celine Dion, Victoria Beckham. And the right answer is B, Catherine Zeta-Jones. White van men, any views on Catherine Zeta-Jones? They're predictable. Doctors, do we like Catherine Zeta-Jones? Very exciting, the doctors. Question 60. Who is this? Ringo Starr, John Lennon, Paul McCartney or George Harrison? Well, you need to know your Beatles to get this right. The answer, D. George Harrison. I know, quite hard that, because it does actually look as if it might be Ringo Starr. Did that fool the gardeners? Yes, easily fooled. For the next part, we gave you some pairs to study ahead of this round and then tested you to see whether you could remember them. Question 61. What was paired with sloth? The answer is D, the house. Question 62. What was paired with the chicken? The answer A, the rocket. Question 63. What was paired with the heart? The answer is D, the cabbage. Question 64. What was paired with the trumpet? The answer A, the scales, though in this case not the ones you might play on your trumpet. Question 65. What was paired with the bottle of ketchup? The answer is C, the tyre. And in the last 5 questions, we tested your memory on a short montage of clips about Test the Nation around the world. Question 66, at the very start of the sequence, what was shown on the screen? The answer is D. The first image showed a thoughtful female face. There she is. Question 67, what followed Test the Nation on one country's opening credits? The answer A, the phrase, "What's your IQ?" featured on the opening credits of the US version. Question 68, which group had an average IQ of 118? The answer is B, the Blondes had an average IQ of 118. I wonder how that'll compare with our redheads tonight. I think our redheads will do better. Question 69. The Japanese had a huge Test the Nation sign in neon letters on their glass TV studio. What colour were those letters? The answer is B. The Japanese Test the Nation sign was written in red neon letters. And the last question, question 70. Where did the blonde group come from? The right answer is D. The blonde came from Holland. Yeah, and very bright they were too. And that, everybody, is the end of the National IQ Test 2004. There's a lot of very good humour here, and they were difficult questions. Now, we need you to add up your scores. We're going to get Superman Cooperman to explain his table. And please don't panic, because we're going to scroll this through twice, so if you miss it the first time, don't worry. Colin, can you explain?
The first thing to do is to look at the first column, the red column, until you see your score in it. And so supposing that you scored 30, you just then look across to find the appropriate column for your age. So if you are aged, say, between 35 and 54, and you scored 30, the number in that where the two row and column meet is your IQ. So you'd have an IQ of 87.
How does that rate, Colin, 87?
IQ of 87, a bit below average, but you wouldn't lose sleep over it.
What would you reckon was a good score?
Well, a good score, an average score is 100 by definition. If you're lucky enough to score 130 or more, that puts you in the top 2-3% of the population.
And what's supersonic score?
Well, it depends what you... by Susan's standards, you know, probably about 200, I would have thought.
OK. Is it likely that people's scores have gone up and down from previous tests?
Well, the items in this test are definitely more hard than those we've used in previous destinations, but don't panic, because this table takes account of all that, and it also takes account of age differences as well. So don't worry if you thought you've done badly. Your IQ should turn out to be exactly the same as it was before.
So it should be round about the same, even though the answers were much more the questions were much more difficult.
Even though that happened, and even though that some people might feel that they may not have known the answers to some of them, like the popular faces, for example. That's all been taken account of.
Oh, good. OK. Well, I don't know if that's good news or bad news. Philip.
Well, it's now time to find out how the people who've represented the IQ test have performed online, because, of course, the people who take the test online are the ones that give us our results. I can tell you that tens of thousands of people have taken the test. They are still taking the test now. And actually, on the last IQ test that we did, over a 2-week period, over 1 million people took the test. So it's still online if you want to play. But now, it's time for the results. So, first of all, let's have a look at our nations. Northern Ireland were the first last time. They got 106. Wales were last with 103. Scotland now have 106. They seem to be on the bottom. Yes, because England have beaten them with 107. Where are Northern Ireland? Northern Ireland have joined up with England there at 107. And in the top place... Last! In the last IQ test, they were last with 103. Well done, Wales, with 110. Fantastic. Now, our capital cities. London with 106. Edinburgh, beaten them with 107. Belfast, joint with 107. And Cardiff, on top, 110. The lights are on in Wales tonight. Right, now let's have a look at our cities dotted around the country. If you played online, this is what you did to your local score. Newcastle, you got 105. All respectable scores, as did Manchester. We don't expect these to change massively. Glasgow got 105, and so did Leeds. 106 now. We've gone up one for Sheffield. Then Liverpool on 106. We've Aberdeen on 107. Well done, Bristol. You got 107 as well. So did Brighton. And Londonderry. And Birmingham. Did we go up here? Yes. Norwich. Well done. You're up a point. 108, the average score for those who played online. You share that with Leicester. Southampton, well done, 109. Plymouth, 110. So, in top place, it's Aberystwyth with 111. Well done. Right, so, on to the other sort of bits and pieces now. Hair colour. This will interest the redheads here, obviously, we'll find out, and our models, I should imagine. So, does hair colour have any impact on your IQ whatsoever? We've got blondes, redheads, brunettes, black, grey, and others. What others will be. Blondes, you got 105. Redheads, you got 107. And the brunettes, 108. Beaten by the brunettes. Black hair, what's that? 104 down for black hair. 112, we'd expect that, because obviously the grey-haired people may be just that little bit older, although not necessarily. And other, whatever that may be, blue rinse or purple or... Oh, actually, our drummer, our punk drummer over there, he did extremely well. So you... Terrific, well done. Right, so now let's move on to ages. 16 to 19, 20, 34, 35 to 54, 55 to 69, and over 70. 101 for the 16 to 19-year-olds. Although we have to say that Charlie Sparks, well done to Charlie Sparks, he's 16, and he got 127 this evening. Well done, Charlie. You haven't won, but that's an incredible score. So well done. So 101 for the 16 to 19s. 20 to 34, you got 108. 35 to 54, 111. This may get a little higher now. Yeah, 55 to 69, 118. Over 70s, 123. Very high for the over 70s. I think that possibly is the highest we've ever had. Left or right-handed, does it make any difference at all whether you use your left hand or you use your right hand? Well, let's find out. The scores online gave us this. 105 for left-handers. The right-handers win with a score of 107. And if you're ambidextrous, you only got 103. OK. What are you laughing at? Right, OK, gender is the big one. In every test that we have done... You ready, guys? In every test we've done, it's always been the blokes that have beaten the ladies here. So let's have a look and see whether it's changed in our IQ test 2004. We have 106 for the men, 106 for the ladies. It's an unbroken record for the gentlemen. They have beat the ladies in the IQ test 2004. Now then, I said that all those results were given to us by people who've played online, who've taken the test online, and it's still there if you want to do it. Now we've got to find out who is the highest scorer online, and Annie has that person.
Thanks, Philip. It's just the guys try harder. On the phone, I'm promised now, is the highest scorer. Somebody there?
I'm here.
Oh, great! It's a woman!
Girl power.
Girl power. Your name is?
It's Emma.
Emma. You are how old, Emma?
I'm 39, Anne.
How long have you been 39, Emma?
Well, it's racing up. The big one's racing up to me, Anne.
Congratulations. Tell me what you do.
I work in IT.
OK, and you come from where?
Berkshire.
And your score tonight was?
150, I think.
Your score was 150. That's fantastic. Now, tell me, have you ever taken... Yeah, it is very good. Emma, have you ever done an IQ test before?
Yes, I have. I'm kind of hooked on them, really. And so it's nice I've still got it, even after having 2 kids.
Are you... yes, that's very good. Are you... you're not a member of Mensa or anything?
I am, yes.
Oh, you are a member. OK, so... No, that doesn't matter. Emma, I just want you to ignore the white van.
I try my best on the road,
yes,
Anne.
That's it. Yes, you have enough trouble with them on the road. I quite understand. Emma, just tell me this. What's your rating in Mensa?
It's about the same.
Oh, well, I'm very pleased, because that does show, as Colin says, that, you know, that we are getting the right results tonight. I can't tell you how pleased I am. It's a woman. Well done, Emma, and a mother.
Congratulations, Emma. Right, now, we ran, as you know, if you've been watching all night, we ran a few experiments, a couple of experiments this evening, and we split our models right down the middle, and we said that half of them should drink a whole load of coffee, and the other half should drink a whole load of water. So let's just have a look once again and see who was drinking the coffee, who was mostly on coffee this evening, and who was mostly on water. So did that make any difference at all to our test? And let's have a look. Coffee versus water. 98 for the coffee and 97 for the water. So it's not a gigantic score, but nevertheless, it's interesting that we did see what we were expecting, that the coffee should be slightly higher because you're percolated. Right, OK, now let's have a look at with the Mozart experiment that we had. And that was Abby, who was listening to Mozart. This was 10 minutes before the programme came on air. Abby was listening to Mozart. We had Oliver, who was listening to punk. And we had James, who wasn't listening to anything at all. And you're supposed to, if you listen to Mozart, it's supposed to get you in absolutely the right frame of mind to increase your IQ. So has that helped Abby? We would expect Abby to have the higher IQ of the 3 triplets here. Let's have a look. So nothing, that of course was James, 119. The punk, 130. Oh, look at this! Mozart was higher at the beginning, but it actually wore off towards the end. Maybe you ought to have listened to it halfway through. Right, OK, now then, let's have a look at our final group here in the studio. Let's find out who's won. In the past, there have been big changes, White Van Men. It's perfectly possible you could be in the lead here. And our models may very well come top. Right, let's have a look. Where are the models? Down the bottom with 97. Above them, the triplets with 101. We have above them the Gardeners at 105. Then there's the White Van Men with 110. I think people thought they were going to do worse than that. Well done to them. And above them, the Celebrities at 111. So, hey, they haven't won. Thank goodness, or we all get lynched. Level with the redheads, which means that in the lead are the Doctors with a score of 116. It's our Doctors. you. Well done, you. Congratulations. And listen, guys, thank you very much indeed for taking part this evening. Fantastic. Now then, sit down because we've got to find out where the winning person, the person with the highest IQ, where are they sitting? Is the person with the highest IQ tonight sitting in the model section? Absolutely not. Is the person with the highest IQ in the triplets? Because we had our 16-year-old who did particularly well, but beaten this evening, unfortunately. The doctors? Possibly. The gardeners? No. The redheads? Possibly. The white band men? No. The winner is in the doctor's section. Stand up, Catherine Doran. Catherine Doran. With a score of 143. You are our studio winner. Annie.
Even more girl power. Now, our celebs, you've done very well tonight. We promised not to reveal your scores. We didn't want to embarrass you. But I think that some of them are so good, we can tell you that in joint third place, we have Simon Grant, who, of course, is a bloke, but never mind, because he's joint third with Jenny Bond, and the two of you got 113. Congratulations. So, Jenny, obviously all that mugging up you did actually helped.
I'm a firm believer in doing your homework, you see. It does pay off.
Have you amazed yourself, Simon?
For a children's TV presenter, yes.
OK. Now, in second place, we have another woman. It is Nina. Very good, 119. And in first place, the top of the celebs, congratulations. It'll put Dirty Den in his place, Tracy Ann. And her score, just let me tell you, her score, congratulations, really brilliant. Your score was 121. Well done. And can we have a big round of applause for all our celebs, because they have been...
Look at that. Great celebrations. Don't forget the test and the answers stay online for the next few weeks. So if you want to have another go or you miss parts of the test tonight, then check out our website address. Thank you to our studio groups. The White Band Men!
The Redheads!
The Gardeners!
The Doctors!
The Triplets!
The Models!
That's very ungracious. And of course, our celebs and our experts.
Now, Cooperman says he can judge a great deal from your IQ, and those who scored highly tonight will no doubt agree, but actually lots of us just love doing the test, whatever the outcome. Anyway, we hope everyone at home has had huge amounts of fun this evening.
I think our studio groups will agree. We have had a great time tonight. Great fun. Thank you.
And don't forget, we'll be back in the autumn with another test to keep you on your toes. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and from all of us, a very good night.